everyone. Happy New Year to you and welcome to the Legends Club show for January. And we're kicking off the new year with a fantastic name. Former Manchester United legend Lee Sharpe joins us live via Zoom. And we can cross live to Spain to say a very good afternoon. I think actually maybe good morning where he is. I'm not too sure. But Lee, great to have you with us on the Legends Club. I hope you've enjoyed a happy festive season.
Absolutely, as always, trying to enjoy it the best we can.
Brilliant. Well, of course, you're going to be joining us throughout the month of January. You'll have the pleasure of the company of the junior legends. You'll be speaking to the Legends Club members via Zoom a little later on in the month of January. But we have to start with these predictions to keep people occupied in what's going to be a very busy time for football. The FA Cup third round is round the corner and the Premier League is bubbling up nicely. So before we get to the predictions of what's about to happen in the Premier League, what have you made of the first, 3 or 4 months of the season to date?
Well, I have to say, I think it's been a little bit weird with no fans. I think there's been some unpredictable results, plenty of goals that I'm not sure would have happened if the stadiums were full of fans. But I think it's been entertaining. I think we're getting the sort of top 4, top 6 filtering their way back to the top of the table. But still, again, a couple of surprise teams that are doing really well. But as ever, exciting. The Premier League is always exciting.
How different do you think it is? I mean, I know obviously visually it's different, but for the players, with no fans and all the COVID hoo-ha going on around it, do you think the games have become slightly different, or do you think that might be an optical illusion because we're just not used to watching the games without fans?
I don't think you can help it not be different with that stadium full of fans. I think the sort of pressures that you play under when the stadium's full, away games, the hostility of fans sort of giving you some stick, the fans backing you in home games. I definitely think there's you can see the difference in the performances of certain teams and the way that teams have played. So I think there's some of the games you watch can look a little bit like practice games or a little bit slow, and I don't think that would happen if the stadium was full.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Lee. It's become a bit of a strange experience watching football. Now, by the way, I must thank our fantastic sponsors at Aladdin. That's why we've got the Aladdin lamp on the table. And I'm going to rub this to bring you a bit of luck, Lee, because we're now going to go through the predictions for the games that kick off January. And I'm going to ask you for an FA Cup third round shock as well. But we'll start with the Premier League. Chelsea against Manchester City, a blockbuster on the 2nd of January, the second day of the new year. So what do you think is going to happen here? Because Manchester City have been a strange team to watch all of a sudden. You never know. They're like Forrest Gump, aren't they? You never know what you're going to get with them these days.
Yeah, they're slightly unpredictable, which is not like Manchester City. They're a little bit inconsistent. I'm not sure the fans are affected a bit more than most. And Chelsea have sort of played well at times, and again had a couple of unpredictable results where you wouldn't expect. I see this being a tight game. But I think, do you know what? I think I can see Chelsea nicking this one. I think this will be like a 2-1 Chelsea.
Interesting that, because we record this obviously slightly before the new year, so we're making it difficult for you to predict these games a couple of weeks out. But there was that stat as we record this that Chelsea haven't beaten any of the top teams yet, reminiscent of Arsenal from years ago, where they said, well, they're beating the teams at the bottom, but they can't. I mean, Arsenal take beating anyone at the moment, quite frankly. But Chelsea, they need to start working out how to beat the big teams, don't they? And this could be a start on a pathway to that.
They do, yeah, and I'm hoping for Chelsea and for Frank Lampard that it's just a matter of, they have still got quite a few new players in the team that are still finding their feet in the Premier League. They look dangerous going forward. And I'm hoping that it's not down to sort of Frank's naivety, I suppose, as a new Premier League manager, you would say. And I hope tactically he sorts out that he starts beating the bigger teams, because I think that they're an attractive team to watch. I like Frank Lampard. And I hope he does well. So I think this could be the turning point for Chelsea against the bigger teams.
Manchester United, Villa next. That's also on the 2nd of January. Of course, again, United becoming a little bit unpredictable. Every time it looks like Ole's going to lose his job, he finds a result from somewhere. But Villa are really one of the stories of the season, aren't they? Only escaped on the final day last time round, and they look far more secure this season. What are you thinking is going to happen at Old Trafford when Villa visit United?
Well, this is a horrible prediction for me to make because I'm an Aston Villa fan. United have struggled at home this season. I definitely think that's because of lack of fans. They have been hot and cold so much this season. They look like world beaters in one game, and then in another game they look a bit like a pub team. So it's difficult to know which Manchester United team are going to come out. Aston Villa, I think, have done well signing Ross Barkley. I think he's helped out Jack Grealish in midfield and going forward, attacking-wise. They look a pretty strong team. I just probably think that Manchester United will be a little bit too strong for Villa on this occasion, and I'd go with the Man United win.
So Man United against Villa, but we're going to give you a chance to predict a Villa win. I've put a couple of Villa games in here just to make sure you predict one Villa victory. They are at home to Spurs in the middle of the month. And, of course, you mentioned Jack Grealish. He was very close to becoming a Spurs player. And, of course, thanks to Villa staying up and other various factors, he's still at Villa Park. But what do you think is going to happen when Spurs come to Villa? That's another game. Anything could happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised. Still surprised with that Jack Grealish is still at Villa. I mean, as a Villa fan, I'm absolutely delighted with that. But really surprised that he didn't go to one of the big six in the summer. I think he's one of the best players in the league. I think he holds the ball and carries the ball so well. Brings in fouls in and around the box in the danger areas. I think he's a top draw player. And Tottenham under Mourinho have become a Mourinho team. They've become a winning machine. Not necessarily. So that pretty to watch at times, but they just know how to get results. They've got an amazing front three. Gareth Bale has not even started to get into the team regularly yet, so they've still got strength in depth. Another tough one for me to call, but as a Villa fan, I'm going to go with the Villa home win.
That'd be fantastic for Aston Villa, of course. They've picked up some amazing victories already this season. Lee thinks a home win against Spurs could be another. And last in terms of the league games, also on the same day as Villa and Spurs, Leicester and Chelsea. Again, Leicester, so many of these teams have been not, you don't expect teams to win every game, but it's the wild unpredictability of so many of the teams who are still currently at the top of the table that surprises me. And Leicester fall into that bracket. I mean, they thrash Man City and then they can turn up the next week and get thumped by themselves by a team in the bottom six. What do you think is going to happen, Leicester-Chelsea?
Yeah, another unpredictable team. Leicester, on their day, they can be world beaters. I think with Vardy up front, they've always got a chance because they can score goals. They defend really well as a team and as a unit, so very difficult to beat. And this is a tough one to call. I think under Brendan Rodgers, Leicester have got a fantastic manager that gets the best out of every player he's got. I think I might have to go for a draw on this one. I think they're pretty evenly matched. Both great going forward. So I'm going to predict, if I'm allowed, I'm going to have a draw.
Okay, you can have a draw. I never know why pundits always say, I'm going to sit on the fence. Statistically, a draw is the hardest result to predict. So you're actually putting your neck out. You're not sitting on the fence. You're putting your neck out by going for a draw there. And we can't, listen, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I've got a feeling you are a little bit old-fashioned as well. The FA Cup certainly isn't what it was when we were growing up, and it was still a major thing. But you're a two-time FA Cup winner, and the first week of the new year still, for everyone, means the third round of the FA Cup. And we have got some fairy tale ties on the agenda. Marine entertaining Spurs is one. What's the other one we've got? We've got Chorley against Derby. Wayne Rooney possibly on the end of an upset against Chorley. And some all Premier League clashes as well. Are you familiar with the FA Cup third round draw, Lee, or do you want me to refresh your memory?
No, you might have to refresh my memory. I don't even think I've seen it yet.
We got Wolves, Palace, Villa, Liverpool. You must know that Villa have drawn Liverpool. That one must have crossed your radar. Manchester United, Watford, Chelsea and Morecambe. League Two Morecambe go to Chelsea. And, of course, Marine and Spurs. I mean, firstly, a very quick word from you on the FA Cup. It's not the same, is it? They can try and do what they like with it, but it's lost its lustre, even from the days when you won it twice. Do you think we're going to any chance of seeing an upset? I mean, I think Rooney losing at Chorley's got a ring to it.
Sounds like that's on your betting slip. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think the gulf between Premier League teams and the rest of the divisions now is so big and so strong. Unless they play a really weakened team and play a lot of young lads, I can't see many Premier League teams going out to really low down teams. Derby, obviously Championship. It's still a fantastic, tough league with some great teams in there. You can see potentially a Derby and a banana skin against Chorley because they may rest a few players depending on how they're doing in the league. So still some massive games, and it is a shame about the FA Cup not quite being as big and as hyped up as it used to be. I think the Premier League do such a good job on their product now that the FA Cup seems to blend into insignificance. I'm not sure whether a bit more advertising, a bit more money might help, but certainly it's not the sort of cup competition that it used to be.
Yeah, well, that'll all change, I'm sure, if Marine managed to beat Spurs. Marine in the 8th tier of English football, the Northern Division 1 Premier Northwest or something like that. It's incredible. 8th tier Marine taking on Spurs. OK, Lee, that's fantastic. Many thanks for giving us your predictions of the games to hopefully kickstart our members off with some winners at the start of 2021. So many thanks to Lee Sharpe. He'll be with us for the rest of January, chatting with our junior legends, having a chat as well on the wall of Zoom with all the Legends Club members. Don't forget, you can become a member for just $15 a year. So many great benefits, including trips to the UK to take in games with legends like Lee Sharpe. When the COVID situation is resolved, we'll be flying our members, some of them, some lucky winners, out to the UK to take in Premier League matches, and we'll be arranging some of those legendary Legends Masters games that have taken place in the likes of Singapore, Hong Kong and Indonesia over the years. They'll be back on the radar. I'm sure Lee's looking forward to coming back to Singapore. He's got plenty of happy memories from here. So make sure you join the Legends Club now. Great New Year present as well if you want to surprise a sibling or a husband or any kind of loved one. $15 a year is all it costs. Thanks to our sponsors, Turkish Airlines, the official airline of the Legends Club, Aladdin, Exchange Bar, another great bar. I had to take Lee to the Exchange Bar next time he's in town. Heroes, Le Noir, Muddy Murphy's. This is literally like a nightlife guide to Singapore, this list of sponsors. Smith's Fish and Chips, the best hummus in Singapore at Sahara in Boat Quay, Akin, Pickerton, Trouble Viewing, and not forgetting our friends in the sports agency at Resolve over there in Africa, Expat Living, Star Balm and Nestia. Everyone got to mention, and great to have Lee Sharpe with us on the Legends Club in January. Don't forget to be with us next week when we'll venture into the wall of Zoom with all our Legends Club members asking Lee the questions they want answered. But for now, stay safe, stay well, and have a very happy start to 2021.